Welcome to Super Hoopers, inconsequential discussion of the week's NBA news. I'm your host, Matt Hill. With me, as always, John Hill, Dave Feudernick. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
What up? What up? What up?
Wow. Okay, bringing 2000. Okay, all right, fantastic. Off to a great start. When did that ad come out? Was that like 2000? Was it 1999?
No.
No.
Like 95.
No.
The What's Up
Later than
commercial?
that. I was in high school. I feel like I was in high school. It was like,
Okay, so-
like late 90s.
Hold
or
on.
2000s.
I'm gonna do research.
All right, before I was born.
See if
Before I
it's
was
on
born. That's good.
ESPN.com.
Yeah, John got the standings and the box scores up. Little mail sack today, guys. I think we'll just do a mail sack. We got some questions.
Thank you to everyone who submitted.
1999.
There we go.
I nailed it. That's like what I said.
yeah.
That was my first.
Good job.
99.
99. I was just a wee lad, elementary
Knicks were
school.
still good. Had our whole lives ahead of us.
Well, no, Y2K, man. We all thought we were gonna die.
It was
true.
a big deal.
Think of all the VCRs.
This is gonna date us, but
This is
I
so good.
remember New Year's party.
Yes.
The 2000 New Year's party, and like on the West Coast, because I was obviously on the West Coast. The big deal wasn't midnight. It was 9 p.m. because we
9
wanted to see if like the East Coast burned. You know, like when
Sure.
when it went over to 2000. So I remember like we're like all looking. Oh, what's going on in the East Coast? Is the world gonna end with Y2K? So,
Hey, that New Year's Eve, me and a couple of my buddies, we lied to our parents. We had a guy who was hosting a party pretend to be his dad, and call our parents to let them know that no funny business was gonna go on, and then smoked weed for the first time ever in my life that night.
Wow.
Yeah.
You thought you were gonna die, so you were like,
Yeah,
might as well.
I was like, yo, YOLO
YOLO.
before YOLO.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Then I threw up in his sink at about 2 a.m.
Oh,
So, yeah.
and then proceeded to make out with a girl?
Yeah, and then I kissed her. I was like making out with someone. So it's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
Memorable New Year's.
My dad actually, he was a systems engineer and a computer programmer, and he would talk about how back in the day at IBM, they just didn't have enough memory on computers, so that's why they got rid of the 2 digits.
yeah, of course.
Because they just didn't have like they had like half a megabyte to write a whole program for. So they took the shortcut, and then but he had spent the last year going back to other companies trying to fix the Y2K bug, and then
Yeah, that's like the premise of Office Space. Like that's his job in Office Space.
yeah, it's pretty cool. But yep, nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Everything was
Nope,
fine.
nothing.
Spoiler
Well,
alert. Spoiler alert
I
for.
mean, I got high and then I threw up.
I know. I remember my friend Dave got high and drunk, and then threw up in my friend Ray's bed, and because the party was at Ray's house,
Oh, of course, Ray.
Oh, come on, you can't throw up in a bed.
and Ray got so mad because these are like rich kids, and so like Ray's sheets were worth like thousands of dollars or something, you know. So Dave's parents had to pay Ray's parents like literally like I think $3,000.
No way.
Yeah, it's like it was a lot of money, and it was like a big beef between them because like literally there's like there's like we're talking about like 2 very very wealthy families. So yeah, it
Damn,
was
like the Montagues and the Capulets.
it was like that. Yeah. Those two are always fighting. It's real funny. So yeah, probably related to that. Probably related all the way back to that moment when he threw up in his sheets, and the other parents made him pay for it. It was Dave. I remember Dave was mad because he was like, "Why should I have to pay for it? You guys are rich. Like, it should just be like, like so." But then Ray's like, "Well, you're rich, so you should have to pay for it." So it was like a rich off.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Speaking of rich, Dirt Dog asks, why are the Knicks not terrible, and will it last? Wow, did you plant this question, Dave? It's just kind of like...
No, because he presented it in our WhatsApp thread, patreon.com/superhoopers if you'd like to partake. He was clearly trying to like goad me because he would like to think that the Bulls are better than the Knicks, and they're not. and he's clearly very upset. So he's very pissed off, and I don't like where the question comes from. Very.
Oh, okay. All right. Bad faith. It's a bad faith question.
Wow.
Sorry, Dirt Dog.
Let me go to
also,
ESPN.com and indeed the Knicks are better than the Bulls currently as we record. The Knicks are 14-16. The Bulls are 12-15. Wow. Two Titans of the East.
Real battle in the East.
Battling to get to 500. Wow.
Why are the
Who
Knicks
cares? That's my answer to this question.
Yeah. Why are the Knicks not terrible? Because of Julius Randle. And
the GOAT. The GOAT.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
Without him, they would be the Wolves. They would be the Wolves.
They'd be the Wolves. Yeah, man,
right.
Julius Randle. We've been fans of Julius from day one.
I have, he was a Laker. He was a Laker, so I was a fan.
I was a fan of his in New Orleans, and I was a fan of the signing last year.
Mm.
And then David Fizdale proceeded to throw him into the fire, and he was really bad last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like big stat numbers, but not good.
right.
And this year, just way better, better system, and he worked his ass off in the offseason and it shows. So, is it sustainable? Maybe not. Friend of the pod, Coach Nick, sent me a bunch of clips trying to make me feel terrible about my love of Julius Randle. So,
Was it just like defensive breakdowns or?
It was like cherry-picked clips from one game, saying "Oh, this is a big mistake. I don't like what I see here from his worst game of the season." But he thinks that they should sell high right now, and I think that might be a mistake.
Why not? Why not?
No need to make that decision right now.
First of all,
they have a team option next year. So,
but then the Knicks will never do it. The Knicks are not going to trade Julius Randle because Tibbs is the coach. Tibbs wants to win now, and he's the best player. So they're not going to do it.
No, they're going to make some trade for Andre Drummond this year, and they're going to try to be the 5 seed and go out in the first round. That'll be that'll be how this year ends.
Yeah, but they probably should trade Julius Randle. Why not sell high? Why not? Isn't the future?
Because maybe he's going to keep playing this well for the rest of his career.
How old is he? How old is he? Is he 28?
Only 26.
Oh, he's 26.
Yeah.
No, he's really good. Don't trade.
Oh, he's
Julius
like my
Randle.
age. Okay. Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's like your age on Y2K.
Yeah. No, okay, 26. All right, I could buy it. If he's actually a good player, I could buy it. 26, why not?
Yeah, he's what? He's 2 years younger than Obi Toppin. So.
Yeah.
Yo. Why we got to go there? Why we got to talk about
their
Obi?
ages are all aligned. Yeah.
Why we got to talk about Obi? Come on.
Hey, dude,
talk
that's a
about
core.
Quickley, baby, Quickley.
That's a core right there. That's a core. Julius Randle, Quickley,
and Alfred Payton.
That'll get you the 7th seed in the East in perpetuity, which is exactly what you want.
Yeah,
right?
we're the new Magic, baby. Look out.
Actually, Dave, this is a good question. Can you put the Knicks players in preference of franchise players? Who would you not trade?
I don't think our listeners want to hear me.
No. I want to hear this because I don't know who's on the Knicks, so this would be a good time for me to find out.
Yeah. This is this is me learning.
Yeah, who he play for?
Yeah.
Obviously, Julius is on an island by himself. He's an all-star this year.
So he's one.
Quickly would probably be 2.
Quickly.
But in terms of trade value, you would definitely not want to trade Quicklly, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm talking this
all
is
all the advanced numbers are saying he is really fucking good.
Yeah.
And he's only 21, and he's just gonna keep getting fucking better and better. They got so lucky that he's a Kentucky guy, and they brought in the whole Kentucky coaching staff, and they knew what a gem he was. They got so lucky. Now, we don't need to go into whether or not they should have drafted Halliburton, who I wanted, instead of fucking Obi Toppin. But you also have to remember, they did not think that Julius Randle was going to be this good this year. And if they knew that, there's no way they draft Obi Toppin. Yeah. There's no way.
Okay, so you got
so
Randle
I would say
one.
Quickley,
so you got two good players.
Two.
Sounds good.
Then there's a big drop-off. And I'd say R.J. Barrett.
What happened to Mitchell Robinson? Robinson,
Mitchell Robinson, I would say,
he was
is
untouchable.
Fourth.
He was untouchable last year.
He was Will
Mitchell
Chamberlain.
Robinson is fourth. Mitchell Robinson's fourth. I still love him, and those 4 people, that's your core. Like that, those are the core people that I think should be untouchable.
Okay, so no Obi Toppin.
I would say
no
right
Kevin
now,
Knox. So your top 10 draft
Are
pick.
we off on comment? Kevin Knox, Obi Toppin.
We are off Knox. Unfortunately, we are off Frank Ntilikina, who yes is still alive. He is still alive. Still handsome as fuck. Still handsome as hell. But
So
yeah,
if you're-
like at the trade deadline, I would put money on Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina both being dealt in some trade.
So
With-
Obi
okay.
Toppin,
with-
Frank
with
Ntilikina,
a draft
and
pick.
Kevin Knox. If you're keeping track at home, that's 3 top 10 picks that didn't work out for the Knicks.
So okay, would you put
Yeah.
RJ Barrett in the like franchise, like keep him kind of thing? Like, do you think he could
Yes.
be okay?
Yes, he's
Okay.
19 years old.
Okay, fair.
And he has showed a lot of progress this year.
Okay.
He's had some stinkers, but I still really like him. And again, the age, like you just like you have to include him in your young core. So those are the 4 people. After that, like who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Hey,
it's a lot of people on 1-year contracts. It's a lot of like fucking Alfred Payton, Austin Rivers, like Reggie Bullock, like people like that. You know, like Nerlens Noel. It's like these people are not a part of the fucking future plans.
All
They're salary cap fillers. So so that's yeah.
That's enough Knicks.
That's enough.
Ian Smith asks, will the Sixers fall apart this season? Or will they just be a disappointment during the playoffs? So I guess he's asking
Yeah,
when,
that's enough Sixers. So what's the next question?
That's the next question.
when do they disappoint? During the season or during the playoffs? I guess is what Ian is asking.
I mean, I don't think you could say they're gonna disappoint because like I don't think they're a championship team. You know what I mean? Like going into the season, I don't think we were saying that this was a team that's gonna beat the Lakers or be a championship team.
Okay, this is actually so good. So what would be a disappointment for the Sixers?
If losing in the first round should be a disappointment.
So I think what if they lose in the second round?
It depends who they're playing.
Okay.
Like
and,
if it's like
and how they play.
Yeah, like if they happen to line up with the Nets in the second round because the Nets don't
Right.
care about then I'd be like, nah, that like whatever. Like
Right.
they should. But I would say there's probably only the Nets and Milwaukee that should beat them.
Right.
Although
But
Am I missing a team?
Milwaukee has shown that they are beatable.
They are
struggling.
beatable, but I'm saying
They are
if Milwaukee beat them this year, I'd say
Right.
like, oh yeah, it's a new team, new coach. Like Milwaukee, like okay, fine. But I would say only the Nets, Milwaukee, and I mean
The Knicks.
I would have said the Celtics, but the Celtics have fallen apart.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
So
done. They're done.
Disarray.
That's where I would stay.
What if they? Because I do think that the Raptors pair well with them. What if they end up playing the Raptors in the first round? That might be a very tough series.
Why I would say it shouldn't be a tough series is because they don't have a center. Like if Joel Embiid can't put up 35 points for 4 games, like then I would say that's a disappointment because he should feast on them. Like they just like that's been Toronto's big issue. They lost their 2 centers and they're playing 72 away games in Tampa. Like
Well, and also they're
Like they
bigs
are.
like Boucher and Pascal like to shoot jumpers.
yeah, but like they got rid of Alex Len.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Baines is trash. So like yeah, I think that's actually a good matchup for the Sixers. Last year, not a good matchup. This year, they should easily just.
So you think it like, and what's the high water mark you think like making the Eastern Conference Finals? Like,
I think they could win the title. I mean, like,
I think there is a slim. I think it's I would agree with Matt. I think they can win the title. I don't know if I'd say they're their favorite. I mean, obviously Lakers and Nets and maybe Clippers are ahead of them, but like. If AD's not healthy or you know what I mean? Like there's so many things that could happen.
well, we saw last night like the Lakers did not look great.
Yeah, and same
AD
thing
on
with the
the
Nets
floor.
this year. I think are kind of funky, but like, yeah, I think they could win. I just don't.
But like,
So- so five-
there's no team this year that's like unbeatable because the Nets can't play defense for the life of them.
Right.
So I mean,
I think Lakers are the closest.
yeah, 538 has them as a 5% chance of winning the finals for the Sixers, and then 15% to make the finals. So that feels about right to me. That's
Yeah.
about
that's
where I
pretty
would
good.
put it.
Like considering what how the season ended last year, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
totally.
it does seem like Doc Rivers has made a pretty big difference over there, and Joel Embiid. It seems like Joel Embiid took the offseason pretty seriously. The 3-week offseason, he did like a cleanse or something.
Yeah. The biggest concern is going to be Ben Simmons in the playoffs. Like Ben Simmons, since the Harden trade, has been playing his ass off. He's killing it. He's looking amazing. But the issue has never been his regular season stuff. It's always been, it's the same thing with Giannis. When they can lock down and say, we're just not going to let you, we're just going to clog the paint and we'll slow you down. What does he become in the half court? It's the same problems always. And that's the deciding factor.
And health. I mean, he also needs to
and health, of course.
I mean, he wasn't even there last playoffs.
For everybody. Like
for everyone.
Seth Curry.
Embiid, too. Embiid
is struggling post-COVID.
Yeah. And Embiid missed at least one game in the Toronto series. The Toronto series they lost when Kawhi was on the Raptors, right? Didn't he at least miss one game? So
I don't remember. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah, he got stomach flu, or he got mud butt. He got mud butt. Classic. So yeah, that'll be it. Like if you told me that they go in the first round and a smart team like the Raptors or the Celtics figure Simmons out and they can't score enough points, I'd be like, yeah, I saw that.
Right.
But I would say that's probably less likely. Okay. I think they should do good. Yeah.
I would predict they make the Eastern Conference Finals. That would be my prediction. I think they probably will get the 1 seed, and then they'll probably not have to match up against Brooklyn, and then I think they do. I mean, if you're looking at the East, it's Milwaukee, Brooklyn, and the Sixers, I think. So
yeah.
I think they got a pretty good chance. Speaking of the Sixers, Borelli, the unstable guy, asks, who would you have picked to start the All-Star game over Kyrie, and why is it Chris Middleton? So the All-Star game, Eastern Conference backcourt came out. It's going to be Beal and Kyrie. So that the starters are chosen by a combination of the fans, the players, and the media. And so the fans had Beal and Irving. The players had Beal and Irving. The media had Irving fourth and Jaylen Brown in there instead of Kyrie. Me personally, I think I would have had Harden just because he's the best player, even despite all the Houston stuff. Despite him, eating his way out of Houston, he's just like the best player. So I would probably have to go with Beal and Harden as the starters. But I don't know. Not Chris Middleton. I don't care about Chris Middleton. No one wants to see Chris Middleton.
No, that's fucking Milwaukee Tobias Harris. No one wants that.
It's like,
it's like what the
Milwaukee
hell?
Tobias Harris. Yeah, that is.
Like, come on. I'm going with a guy we already talked about, Julius Randle. He plays enough point guard.
He does. Doesn't
he, Dave? He's a point forward.
He's a better ball handler than most of our guards. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd say him.
Julius Randle is not making the All-Star game though, right? He's not.
It's so up in the air with those reserves. I don't know, but because it's up to the coaches and it's Tibbs. Tibbs has said to the media that he's not going to be like pushing to other coaches for him, but I think that's bullshit. I think coach is going to coach, and I think like he's going to make some phone calls. And
so you have.
This is the thing that's different in the NBA as opposed to other sports like All-Star games is that like it's pretty crazy how few guys make it every year, and in such a saturated like league of talent. So if he doesn't make it, it's not the end of the world. But I do actually, not just being a homer, I do think he's going to make it.
So I want him to make it because then we'll have a bunch of former Lakers that have made All-Star games. D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram, and Julius Randle. And I would argue all of them are completely fake All-Stars. Like they all were in the Eastern Conference, and then
this is the thing that I do think is makes him most deserving is that, like I said before, they would be the Wolves without him. Like he has been such an incredibly invaluable person, and a lot of the advanced stats like him way more than people like fucking Tatum. So I think he is absolutely deserving.
You heard it here first. Julius Randle better than Jason Tatum. You heard that on put that on iTunes.
Only 14 years old, but not as good.
Yeah.
I would honorable mention. I would probably say Zach LaVine.
Yeah, well, Zach LaVine he was fourth on this list. So The fans had him 4th, the players had him 3rd, and then the media had him 5th. So,
yeah.
What did the astrologists have him as?
I don't know.
Is that they had Kyrie as 1, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
He got
The
stage
Flat Earth
vote.
Society had Kyrie as 1.
Leo season.
Yeah.
He got all the walking stick vote.
Yeah, the anti-maskers had him 1 as well. Lucas asks, Rockets pick is top 4 protected this year. They are losing game naturally due to injuries and a roster full of scrubs. Should they roll the dice and lose even more games by sitting players, Christian Wood, and rest them? Follow up, what team looks like they are trying to win but should embrace the tank?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, hey, glad that Lucas has electricity.
Yeah. Shout out to
all our people in Texas struggling, and thank you for making sure your phone is charged to be on the Patreon. That's like the most important thing. Yeah, like it's the most important thing.
Yeah. You got to get that power to hook into the WhatsApp. What's interesting is like just looking at the lottery odds, like how flat they are. So it's like the worst. If you have the worst record, you basically have a 50-50 chance at a top 4 pick. Like 50% of the time you get a top 4 pick, 50% of the time you get the 5th pick. So it's not that good. And Houston right now, they're tied for 6th. They have about a 35% chance to get into the top 4. So it's like, the tanking that they would need to do to go from, 6th to last, is it worth 15 percentage points? I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't. It doesn't seem. It doesn't seem to me like you should probably just keep playing and you'll probably stay where you are. You don't really want to move up though. You don't want to move up to say like Sacramento has the 9th worst record. They only have a 14% chance to get into the top 4. So it's basically the drop off is not from like 1 to 2 or 2 to 3. The drop off is really from like having one of the worst 5 records to having like one of the worst 10s, like that 1 to 5 range versus the 6 to 10 range. So you kind of want to be in the bottom 5, bottom 6, but as long as you're there, it's pretty much even. So I would say for the Rockets, just make sure you're in the bottom 6, and you might hold on to that pick. But it's probably not worth it. I mean, you're not going to out-tank, Minnesota or Detroit. Like, those teams are just going to be bad. Washington or Orlando look like they're probably going the other way, too. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the new tanking is not so much on your position in the draft, but it's clearing cap space.
In the lottery.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And clearing cap space. Like,
Right.
I don't think it's necessarily like you should get rid of your bad players. Like, I don't think it's back like in the Sixers day where it's like we got to get rid of everyone so we can guarantee a bottom spot. But I think it's more of like let's clear cap room and get more assets and more draft picks.
Well, they're
try a bunch.
They're gonna trade Oladipo like at the deadline, and they'll get more assets through that. And of course they have all the picks that are going to be coming over from the Nets. So they're going to be pretty good asset wise. And I think it's important to have Christian Wood like not sitting too much. Like you want him to keep developing.
Yeah. I mean, I think like I said, I think the tanking now is like going from, if you're like just outside the playoffs, that's when you really want to move down. If you're not making the playoffs or the play-in tournament, you just want to, throttle down to like, the bottom 5. That's where we may see tanking.
The Pelicans, like the year they got Zion, like prove that you don't have to be like the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, like last year, I feel like there was a team that jumped up. Didn't Minnesota? I mean, Minnesota didn't have the worst record last year. They got the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Completely messed up.
Squandered it.
But Charlotte, I don't think Charlotte had that terrible record. Charlotte jumped up. Mm-hmm. Golden State had a terrible. I mean, Golden State, basically stayed where they were. In terms of teams that should tank, I mean, if you're the Wizards, you should definitely tank. I mean, like I don't know what the Wizards. Yeah. The Wizards continue to confound. I mean, you have the most. Basically, you have the 1 star that's going to be available in the next probably 2 years, that could fetch a king's ransom. So you basically, since you have that guy, you can make all those teams that want the last piece bid against each other, and you should be able to get like a massive haul for Beal. And they should absolutely tank. The Magic, I think the Magic probably should tank.
I think the Mavericks should probably tank.
I have the Mavericks because the Mavericks are currently out of the playoffs. What is there protection on the pick that they owe to the Knicks, or is it unprotected?
No, it's unprotected.
It's unprotected?
Yeah. Oh, KP,
man.
keep playing, babe.
Oh man, that is rough. That is rough for the Mavs.
I mean that is the the last thing I'll say about the Knicks this pod, but that is the ultimate goal this season would be make the playoffs, give the young guys some playoff experience, and get a lottery pick from the Mavericks.
Yeah,
that would be incredible.
The other team that I was thinking should maybe experiment with tanking, like right now they think they're ninth, is the Kings. Because if you're the Kings, you're like, okay, we got De'Aaron Fox, Halliburton. That's kind of like whatever, our backcourt of the future. We got those guys. Let's try to get higher up in the lottery to get kind of the next piece. And also, one of the ways you could do that is just by playing Marvin Bagley a ton, who's like awful. And it would kind of accomplish the goals of tanking, but also, do you actually have anything? Is this guy a total bust, or is there anything that you have with Bagley? And they are playing him, but I would just basically play him more. Then also you can
play him and Whiteside together.
Yeah, you can move on from Barnes. Like you could trade Barnes maybe for something, trade Hield for something, and then see what you have in Bagley. Like that if I were running the Kings, that's kind of the direction I would tank them. I would tank them down to hope to get that final piece in this year's draft.
I'd be worried of playing Bagley so much that he has no value.
It's
almost like a mystery. True. Like, hey,
but
look,
do you think he has any value now? Like, I think it's the Fultz situation where I think his value is probably a second round pick. So I don't know.
No, we got a first for Fultz.
We got a fake first.
No, it paid off.
Did it end up being a first? I don't believe that.
No, I think that's how we got Maxey, right? I could be wrong. So it's going to be someone in the Patreon's going to correct me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think you would have to do the take back some salary, send Bagley. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing, plus a first. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Bagley, ugh.
They're kind of surging though. I mean, they might be in the play in that team. I don't know.
Yeah, my thing with the Kings is I don't think they should tank because they got some good players. But I think they need to move on from Hield or Barnes to allow Halliburton to start.
No, yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. That's not necessarily tanking.
Fox,
you're just kind of like
those are the pieces you.
Yeah, you're shifting to Halliburton and Fox and maybe Holmes as you're like these are our guys going forward. So
yeah.
Okay. Darren asks, this isn't a question, but I would love to hear your guys' best party hangover stories from college. Wow.
This one,
Man.
I love the question. I've been trying to give it some thought, but it's just impossible to choose.
Well, my issue is I forget everything, and I'll be like hanging out with my college buddies, and they'll tell me a story, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, I kind of remember that, but it's like, so there's so
I kind of remember being in the Japanese mayor's office naked with some people.
I do remember that.
I don't remember.
So my favorite college story is I had this buddy Pat, and he did this thing where he rushed every fraternity in character. So he invented a character called Russ McCarthy. He was Russ McCarthy from Perth, Australia. He was an exchange student. And so he rushed every fraternity as his character. And I went with him one time as a character. I pretended to be a European exchange student from Rotterdam. And so I pretended to be...
Couldn't have been good.
I used like this ridiculous accent. I was like, I'm Hansen Vohwinkel from Rotterdam. And I dressed like I had like an I Love New York shirt on. I had like really high shorts. And then I had like... socks with Birkenstocks, and so me and him, we rushed this fraternity in character, like as these two foreign exchange students, and it was like a Borat stunt, like before Borat, where we had to stay in character the whole time. So like even when we were talking to each other, just at this frat get together, we had to have these fake conversations as if we were foreign exchange students. And I don't know. It was just like the frat, like they were like totally into us because my buddy Pat is like super good looking, like super cool guy, and he's like pretending to be Russ McCarthy from Perth, Australia. But I just remember them like being, it was like so stereotypical. Like, I don't know if all fraternities are like this, but they were like so stereotypically racist. Like they were just like, they'd show us like video. They brought us upstairs and they showed us like videos of their parties, you know? And there would be like a minority at the party that like, don't worry, that guy's not in the frat. We're like, yeah, no, it was that was crazy. That was one of my fondest memories. And then also, Pat had rushed so many fraternities as Russ McCarthy that people knew him on campus as Russ McCarthy.
Became his Russ.
And I was later at a party with him where it was like a loud party, and the person on his left thought he knew him as Pat, and the person on his right knew him as Russ McCarthy, and he was switching between conversations, switching his accent. It was like. It was masterful. So, and he also hooked up with a girl as Russ McCarthy. So
just lying to women. I love it.
Yeah, Pat. Pat definitely doesn't listen to this.
Hey, that's Pat for you, man.
Dude, he was kind of a legend. He was kind of a legend.
Yeah.
Well, he was also he wasn't even an undergrad. He was a grad student.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
But he just looked.
Got a little creepier. Just got a little.
He was probably like 4 years older than I was, but he looked like same age. So.
Yeah,
but
that's because of you, right?
Right. Yeah.
Well, this is a good question because recently I'm on a group text with my college buddies, and one uploaded all the photos from college, which is only like 75 photos because because in our day you literally had to like if you thought you were going out, you'd go to the 7-Eleven, get a disposable camera, and you had 24 shots at this, and hopefully the flash worked. A lot of good stories. I can't tell because we're in a cancel culture, and I just can't do that. And I have a good job, and I'm not trying to get canceled. Admitting to everyone I used to hang out with racist frats like Matt did, and hook up with girls based on lies, younger girls based on lies. This dude was probably hooking up with 18-year-old girls lying about who he was.
It wasn't. First of all, it wasn't me. Second, it was the frat. I didn't join the frat. So
just associating with them.
Well, we were pranking them, John. We were literally playing a prank on them. We were making them look foolish.
I'm definitely 18 too.
Yeah. Hey.
John, look, girls were lining up to hook up. This guy was one of the hottest dudes on campus. Girls were I mean, he was, so he had no problems with.
All right, you got me. Okay, I'm 19.
He was like 25. Come on.
Yeah.
He was 25.
I think you forget what a huge gap that is.
Well, he wasn't hooking up with 18-year-olds. He was hooking up with 21-year-olds. So.
And who knows? Those girls could have been lying themselves. They could have been grad students,
They
playing a bit. They all could have been playing a bit,
we don't know.
Your boy.
Sure.
We don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, a quick one. One of my favorite things is there was this frat that always threw Thursday night parties, right? Mm-hmm. And we would always go into their party, and me and my crew were terrible people. We were just bad people. I thought
you say you were trying to not get canceled, John.
Yeah. But we would, so we would and my two friends were really, really good at taking over a party. Like you would go to the party, and within minutes they would be behind the bar running the keg, and you're like, how is this possible, right? And it'd be great because then you just walk up to line. A frat party with a keg, it's impossible to get a drink, but I would just toss my cup to Bill, and he would just fill it up because he somehow became the bartender within minutes. But this one house, how Matt, you never had a basement, you don't understand this, but the parties would be in a basement, which is a house, which is a cinder block underneath a house.
I know what a basement is.
Oh, okay,
I actually had a basement growing up. So
whoa, what? Oh, is that where you stored your extra yacht parts?
No, this was we lived in Pasadena. We lived in they actually sit near Pasadena, Sierra Madre. Okay. And the house was built, I think, in 1905, and for some reason it had a basement.
Okay.
It was when the settlers didn't know California had good weather yet, so they came out here. They're like, well, we're from the East Coast, so we put these basements in.
Wait, we don't need a furnace.
Yeah.
We need a furnace for.
So in the basement, but if you had there was a grate above us, right, to let air through, like a duct. And what we would do in the party is push the grate up and take it. So there'd be a hole just in the hallway. So every party would be standing there, and someone would walk and literally just like fall through the hole with one leg.
John, I must reiterate. I thought you were trying to not get canceled.
So people would fall through this grate.
John's building booby traps, trying to murder people.
And so imagine you're just like going to the bathroom or going to this party, and you're walking, and then all of a sudden you just like fall through a sinkhole. And of course, we would grab your leg and not let you get out. So it'd just be a poor person like, help! I fell through a hole.
Dang.
And we did it for a couple weeks to the point that the frat finally put a giant desk over the grate so no one could do it. Yeah.
Nice.
And then about a few months later, we just fist fought the whole frat, and then that was it.
Okay. Great.
So that is the story I feel comfortable telling to people.
That's the best one. Just a little light assault. Light leg assault. Just a light bodily harm is your most comfortable
That'd
story.
Be the one
okay.
that I feel comfortable
I will say I also remember I just remembered one detail is that I said I was from Rotterdam, but then I realized halfway through the rushing the fraternity I had no idea which country Rotterdam was in. So I didn't know what nationality I was. And then there was some guy who had like been
actually Dutch or
no, I think it's in Holland. Yeah. So but someone had actually been there and was asking me questions about Rotterdam, and I was like, Pat, please help me out. Pat, get me out of this conversation. I know nothing about Rotterdam.
That happened. So we used to do the same thing. We used to rush at Carnegie Mellon up the street, because they wouldn't know us, and they were like a bunch of computer nerds. So they would always and they had money. So rushing there was like great. And someone told me, like, just say you live in the Donner building. That's where the freshmen live. And someone asked, and I was like, yeah, Donner. And they're like, where? And I said, oh, 4th floor. And they're like,
it's 3 floors.
I don't think the Donner building has 4 floors. I think it's 3. And I just like stared and go, I'm really wasted. College. And they were like, it happens to the best of them. And I was like,
yeah, everyone forgets where they live.
Everyone forgets.
No, we knew where we lived. There was an international students hall. We knew all about it. So we had that one. We had that one covered. We covered our bases beforehand. Me and Pat.
Nice.
Sure.
Yeah. Dave, you have any college stories?
I mean, like John, most of them I absolutely cannot tell on here. But my 21st birthday was memorable because it involves NYPD and the FDNY fire department. So I was known in college for getting wasted and then disappearing at parties, like just like going up, like just disappearing.
You fell down a hole. Fell down one of John's holes.
Yeah, all these fucking greats, all these open greats. Too many greats in New York. No, I would like disappear. I'd be like, I would just like be over parties. I'd be like, well, I'm not getting laid tonight. I'm just gonna go order 3 pizzas and fucking, dip them in ranch dressing and watch, Arrested Development by myself. So
Do they call it an Irish goodbye? Sorry.
Yes, Irish goodbye.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that was kind of my thing. So on my 21st birthday, I got fucking every single person's buying me a shot. I probably had I honestly probably had at least 15 shots, if not more. Oh. And so I was just I was wasted by 10 p.m. And I disappeared from my own party. And I'm walking home on the Upper East Side in Manhattan. I have to pee so fucking bad. I'm still blocks away from my apartment. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to pee in this alley. As soon as I take my dick out to start peeing, 2 female NYPD cops just happen to walk by. It was like they were waiting for me to take my dick out.
Somebody extract that.
Oh, yeah.
These two female cops. They were just waiting. They were just waiting for it.
Please don't cancel me.
Yeah, Dave's canceled.
So they're like, hey, what's going on here? I'm like, it's my 21st birthday. I had to pee. And they're like, they're just such dicks to me. They write me, first of all, they're grilling me for half an hour. Then they finally let me go. They write me a ticket, which I still haven't paid. So probably a warrant out for my arrest from 2005. But so then I'm like, oh, fuck. So they leave. And I actually peed when they left.
You just help.
And then I ran out of the alley, and I get home, like I order food, the food comes, and like after that it's so blurry. I wake up in the morning, my roommates like will not talk to me. They're like all pissed off. One of them is like way more pissed off than the other one is, and then eventually like the one who's a little less pissed off is like, you know what you did last night? I was like, what? Bro, like, you flooded the entire apartment building. 2 fire trucks came. I must have, like, puked. And, like, I stopped up the toilet. And we were on the 5th floor in a 5-floor walk-up.
Oh.
So, like, the whole apartment, like, dude, there was, like, a newlywed couple right below us. And we were fucking monsters. Like, we had so many parties and shit, and like we were so loud and like horrible. Like their bedroom was below our bathroom. So like they had all this like property damage and shit. Like, like and 2 fire trucks had to come. So within like the same night, I forced like NYPD and FDNY to like do shit like that they like shouldn't have been doing. Like they
So
they should have been out like actually helping people.
You're admitting to being a sex offender because public urination.
Public
sex
urination.
offender, and you destroyed an entire building. So,
Whoa!
I love how both of you guys are trying not to get canceled, and you're like, I'm a sex offender, and I destroyed a building.
The only people that saw me take my dick out were law enforcement.
Yeah.
So if anything, it was for the people.
Yeah, which legally you have to do if they ask.
Right.
We see now that the NYPD is a bunch of dickheads. So it was just like
Yeah, man, you were fighting this back in the day.
Yeah, I was ahead of my time.
My friend Zach. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he peed on a cop car outside a Harbor House one night, which was pretty amazing.
Come on, let's fight the good fight.
Yeah.
So memorable 21st birthday, and I've never. You want to talk about hangover stories? Like I've never had a worse morning. The 2 worst hangovers I've had were not because I was so hungover, but just feeling horrible. And then I was hungover once when I was 19 in college, and the next morning I would often like go play basketball at the local park, like play pickup on Saturdays. And I was running and diving to save the ball. And I was running so hard that I couldn't catch myself. And I went headfirst into a wrought iron fence and like busted my head open in 2 places. To this day, I once my hair like finally falls out, I'm going to have you'll see like 2 huge scars going like all the way down my skull.
Oh,
and
but that's from when you got your horns removed though, right?
Come on.
It's a callback.
Come on. You got to be a cute girl in Sacramento to make that joke. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, I thought Matt was talking about the frats he rushed.
Okay, well, trust me. That was
I'm from Rotterdam. I really hate Jews. So
they also told us.
So what's up with these Jewish girls on campus with their horns?
No, this frat also told us about like frats supposed to do community service. They're like, don't worry, like Billy, he like works for some nonprofit. He signs us all off that we have a ton of hours, so don't worry, that's actually not a real thing. Like you don't have to do that. I was like, good.
Yeah. Here's the thing: you can't get canceled for your past if you're canceled for your future.
What do you mean? Okay.
Wait.
What?
I'm just saying, like, no one's gonna be pissed at our college stories. Dave's making European Jew jokes right now. Like, we're good. We're good. All right. Bob Johnson asks. Shout out to Bob Johnson. We'll get to him later. But he asks, which NBA players are enjoying the removal of weed, THC testing, the most this season? Well, I would say probably Jonathan Isaac, because he just thinks weed is the devil's drug. Does he think that? Does he anti-weed? No, isn't he like super religious? Well, you could be super religious and still like weed, though. I mean, I don't know. Can you though? I don't know. I used to know a ton in college. Maybe it's a Southern California thing, but I knew guys who were religious that smoke weed.
Yeah, but he's like religious, like Bible study religious. Like he's not religious like I'm spiritual. Like he's like real. Like isn't he like a virgin still? Like saving himself for marriage? Yeah. Like he's like that kind of religious. Yeah, that dude don't like weed. No
that
way.
dude, he can't be. He can't be.
Can't-
in the weed.
That's devil grass.
Devil
So I
grass,
have a-
that's what I think. Yeah.
I don't dabble too much in the weed because it just makes me quiet. And you know me, I like to interrupt people, so it like kind of takes away.
We partook on our Sacramento trip together.
Well, that's why
Yeah,
we did it.
I
we were like, we can't do a whole weekend of Matt talking.
But I don't even.
Let's slow him down. We got to slow him down.
I don't even think I got high. I don't remember feeling
Hey,
it that much.
nobody
A
was
little bit.
talking when we were stoned eating those burgers, those delicious burgers.
Oh, that's true. That's true. We were still watching eating those burgers. That was watching Lonzo Ball light up the San Antonio Spurs.
That's right.
That was the high point of Lonzo's career and just my life. It's not been great since. Yeah, probably all the players, most of the players.
Yeah.
But have you ever played basketball on weed? Does it make you better? Does it make you worse?
I haven't done it since I was in college, but I used to do it before I played in college all the time, and I found that it made me more focused as a player. I don't know.
I've heard some people say that they play better. I remember I do know playing after you've drank a ton is like impossible. Like playing drunk is like the worst thing ever.
No.
But also, like I would imagine, like it would also make you more winded. I mean, like we typically I guess, like depending on what strain you're smoking or consuming, like it makes you kind of lethargic. So I would imagine it would affect your motor.
Yeah, I can't do like some people could be like, oh, I'm gonna get high and then go work out or like do a whole bunch of stuff or like a lot of people get high and drive, spend the whole day high. Like I can't do that. Like mine's like it's the end of the night. I'm not going anywhere. I'm at a party. Like I couldn't play high.
Should we talk right now about CBD is better? Should we just segue?
Well, that's a great segue.
Segue into
great
CBD is better. Yeah. So our official sponsor of the Super Hooper, CBD is better.
Sponsor, yeah.
New sponsor
last week.
And listeners, longtime listeners know about our approach to sponsors. You've heard us mumble through ad reads. You've heard me directly go after other podcast sponsors like Casper Mattress and such and whatever the what's the thing where they deliver the food to your house, Blue Apron, all that bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
We usually roast our sponsors. So.
We usually roast. Yeah. This is the first sponsor that we actually want you guys to buy. This is the first one that we actually can recommend. And we have a promo code Hoopers. So if you do get something from CBD is Better, so go to cbdisbetter.com. You could buy the weed gummies. They have various pills that you could take for
all vegan, all clean.
Yeah.
All vegan, all clean. I don't care about that, but other people
some
might.
People
Some
do.
people do.
Some people
Yeah,
do.
some people do.
So go there, get some hook yourself up with some CBD or some gummies. They also have
I partook in
tell me what you guys do.
They sent us a bunch.
Yeah, sent us a bunch. Haven't done the gels yet, but I did partake in one of the Delta 8 gummies, and it's fantastic.
What? Okay.
I'm not a big smoker these days. I used to be a big pothead, but I do like the gummies, and so I take them from like time to time over the weekend usually, and I found that these like with other gummies you kind of come down a little bit, you get a little groggy like when like it's kind of fading, and I didn't feel that at all from this. And I'm not just saying that because they're our sponsor, but I thought it was like a very clear, like very nice high. So the Delta 8 gummies are highly recommended.
So I'll probably try those this weekend. They also sent, like I said, they sent us the pills. One of them is for
they're 25 milligrams though, so just take a half to start.
Take a half. Yeah. Take a half. I know. I'm not trying to pass out like we did at Nate Cornett's bachelor party.
So. Who knows what you would do with the Legos if you took the whole one?
Dude, oh man.
I don't want to know.
Let me tell you. Yeah, but they got the CBD for boners, so they have some boner pills.
I'm really excited for that.
I'm really excited for that too. I'm gonna take those next week. So
get that baby monitor out, get the tumbler going.
Fire up the tumbler, get the Legos,
X-wing out, and you'll think that you're in that Lego X-wing.
Anyways, CBD is better. John, you have something?
Yeah, I took the CBD is better. They have different brands or different styles. I took the everyday one. And enjoyed that. I thought that was nice. I haven't done the Delta 8, which is the gummy. That comes with the THC. Yeah, that's the one. But I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to. I don't know if I can do it this weekend, but soon I'm going to take a Delta 8 is better and then rewatch Mad Max Fury Road. and I will say because I've only watched it once, and all my opinions are based off the one time I watch it. I'm going to rewatch it with Delta 8 is better, and I'll give another opinion. Well, either I'll enjoy it or I'll double down on my take, but make sure you go to the website and check it out, guys. CBDisbetter.com. Promo code Hoopers. This is and the owner is a Hoopers fan. That's how we got it.
Big fan. We're a big fan of him. So
yeah, this is great.
Yeah, this is great. This is our first real sponsor. First one we actually believe in.
Yeah.
Sorry. All the ads that were inserted into this podcast, we also stand 100% behind those.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Keep clicking.
Yeah. Last question that I have. This is a question for John. John, how do I prevent cooking oil from splattering all over my stove when I cook?
Yeah, this is from Lash City. Funny because last night I splattered all over the place. Couple things. One,
you do tinfoil.
You can do tinfoil. There's a couple things I would say. One, you're probably using too much oil in a pan that isn't high enough. Use higher sides. Use the flame that is closest to the backsplash, because that way it splashes backwards and on the wall, and it's easy cleanup. And there's also a thing that you can buy on Amazon very cheap, but it's like a mesh screen. It's like a 12-inch mesh screen that you just put over your fry pot, and it catches all the grease. I grew up using one. I don't think a lot of people know about them, but
no.
I don't know if it's an Asian thing or what, but my mom always used it, and that prevents a lot.
As somebody who doesn't do the cooking but does the cleaning, I could tell you that my in-laws do not know about this thing. So.
Okay, there you go. Actually, my biggest cooking tip is, the problem with cleaning, why people hate cleaning, is because by the end you have so many dishes.
Right.
And it's like a massive thing. So what I now do, and this has helped greatly, is clean things as you cook.
Absolutely. Yep.
So like if you use the chopping board and your knife and you did all the vegetables and you throw it in the pan, you have 10 minutes while that thing cooks. That's when you just wash your knife. Like, just make the cooking process, put more effort into that, so it's not at the end where you're like, fuck, I don't want to do all these dishes. Just chip away at it, and then by the end you're like, oh, I have 2 plates to clean, and then it's easy. And then go
go pop a CBD is better, dude.
Yeah,
pop a Delta 8.
Pop a Delta 8 and go.
Pop a half a Delta 8.
Yeah. I think I might need the full one for Fury Road.
All right. half at the beginning. So as you've explained in Fury Road, and they just drive there and drive back. So take half when they leave, half when they're heading back.
Yeah, well,
John's tolerance is also higher, so
yeah.
you may want to take the.
Yeah, I'm hoping the gummy really hits when they go back to the same plot point as before, and maybe
it'll be brand new to you.
Yeah, I'll be like, what? What are these rocks? Whoa, this is brilliant storytelling. Okay.
All right. Thanks for all. Yeah.
Matt, did you not see?
There should be some more questions.
Oh, I didn't see any. I just saw those 7. Sorry, there's more.
The Instagram ones from
Eddie Paz.
Eddie
Paz.
Okay, all right.
Do you know Eddie?
No, why?
I remember he said that he followed us on Twitter, and then he got rid of Twitter, and he was only going to be on Instagram, and he critiques us a lot.
Okay.
On Instagram, he'll just go to our most recent Instagram post and critique the latest pod. So he's an active Instagram fan.
Okay. What is his questions? Should
I sent them later.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. These are the images.
They're good. We can do them rapid fire because he asked a lot.
Is he married to the Irish? Is that him?
Yes, that's him.
Okay. All right. John, what disturbed you more? Matt's baby monitor story or Dave's vomit kiss story?
Ooh, wow. It's man, this is a tough one. Matt's dick or Dave abusing a high school girl?
Oh, come on.
I don't know. Probably Dave.
Rapid fire.
Yep.
Okay, and if you don't mind a basketball question on your economics and pop culture pod, who are you going to support in the Lakers Nets final series we're going to end up with? Ooh, man. Ooh, Lakers finals. That would be...
I got to go Lakers. I was like thinking about this last night because the Lakers and Nets played last night. It's really hard, but I'd have to go Lakers.
Yeah,
it's like we've already experienced them winning already. It's like I've kind of already come to terms with the fact that they're successful. Like I can't have the Nets like work out.
And the advantage of the Lakers winning is it diminishes the Celtics titles because then they have the more titles than the Celtics. So
yeah,
it it pisses off Celtics fans. So I would definitely root for the Lakers in the Lakers Nets.
Yeah,
I would actually. That's not even that hard for me, actually.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I think and I would take the parade. We missed a parade last year. I want to parade in LA. Get that vaccine and let's
let me tell you, there's going to be no parade. We need to adjust our thinking about the coronavirus is here to stay for a long time. These I'm telling you, it's not. We're never getting to zero. We're never getting to zero. So
that's fine.
Sorry to burst everyone's
last one,
bubble.
Dave. What is worse, John's takes on films or Matt's take on food?
Oh, Matt's take on food.
Thank you.
Not even close.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. Sorry, there's a few.
I'm not gonna die on the Fury Road train just in spite of John for that. I care too much about food, and Matt's disgust with good food is horrifying. Horrifying to me.
It is.
I like good. I like good food. We talked about it. I like good food,
especially for somebody as worldly as you. Horrified.
I like good food. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll never be able to look at you the same way after finding out that you went to Subway in New Orleans.
I was by myself, Dave. What am I supposed to do? I don't want to go to restaurants by myself.
You know how many restaurants in New Orleans I went to by myself when I was visiting my wife? When
right,
she was working?
but you're a loser. I have appearances to upkeep. Okay, I can't.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm definitely happy with my decision.
Bro, if you told me you went to Jimmy John's, I'd be fine with it. If you were like,
Subway.
yo, I went to Chick-fil-A, I'd be like, all right, there's more creative.
I don't like Chick-fil-A. I think Chick-fil-A is gross. So
I kind of agree with that take.
I mean, Chick-fil-A. I don't think it's gross. I think it's way overrated, and also
so overrated.
Fuck their politics. But Subway, I wouldn't go to Subway in LA. Fuck Subway.
No, I would never. I mean, Subway's the
awful.
Most disgusting. As
I don't think so. I don't think Subway's good, but
When you can go to Jersey Mike's or why would you go to Subway?
Aussie and I actually go to Jersey Mike. We were when the lockdown happened, you couldn't go to restaurants anymore. Aussie and I were going to Jersey Mike's every Friday night because it was
I love
it was it was the only place that had takeout near us. So yeah. All right, John, would you rather listen to Dave talk pop culture for 30 minutes or Matt talk economics for 3 minutes?
I actually like your economics takes. Okay. I don't hate either. I think Dave's, I would say less pop culture with Dave. I prefer Dave's knowledge in older music, if we call that pop culture. I would listen to Dave talk soul music and jazz forever. I think that's really great.
Yeah, and I like Dave has good TV show recommendations and stuff.
Yeah, I think Dave's great at it.
I got no problem with Dave's.
And I like your economics.
30 minutes though.
Yeah, that was a long time.
I mean, like this pod, I kind of zone in and out of it, So.
Right. I mean, I zoned out. For you guys were talking about cleaning kitchens for however long. I was gone. I popped a Delta 8 and I was out for that. And then this is the last one. Matt, would you rather listen to Dave talk Knicks for 30 minutes or John talk Sixers for 30 minutes? Well, to be honest, I much prefer Dave's Knicks talks because I love to just interject making fun of the Knicks. It's hard to interject and make fun of the Sixers these days. So I love to drag the Knicks.
And also 30 minutes of Knicks talks, 30 minutes of Sixers is literally every Super Hoopers.
I know. It's like, so would you rather listen to the first half of Super Hoopers or the second half of Super Hoopers? All right. Now we can get to shout-outs and beef. Sorry, I didn't see those Instagram.
Yeah, no. Thank you, Eddie. And thank you everyone. Thank you everyone.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It makes us not have to do work. I love it.
Yeah. We went so long. I don't think we're even gonna get to what kind of the other topics we have prepared. So we just have shout outs and beefs. That's okay. I'm beefing with sorry, my voice changed there for some reason. I'm beefing with just
puberty.
Yeah.
Menopause?
Young
menopause?
Nah, come on.
Menopause.
I'm just beefing with the NBA viewer ecosystem in general. It's last night I couldn't watch the TNT games. Like, for whatever reason, I couldn't. I have like cable for my grandma that I can sign in to watch TNT online. Wasn't working. Hasn't been working all week for whatever reason. I have no idea. And then my League Pass, the volume, it automatically mutes itself. So if you set it up on the TV, like after 5 minutes, it'll just mute itself for some reason. So I don't know what's going on, but it's basically impossible to watch a game. But just in general, their product is so hard to watch. It's like, imagine you're a basketball junkie, you sign up for League Pass, well, you can't watch your local teams. Or you have to have some other cable thing to watch your local teams. Right. It's just like a non-intuitive product. It's just like they are making it so hard for themselves. And there was a podcast today from Ethan Strauss, kind of like actually going over the ratings numbers. Like, the NBA has lost 50%, half of its viewers in the past 5 years. So
is that because like so many people are just getting illegal Reddit like streams?
Well, I think those numbers are pretty. I mean, there's what annoys me about our current world is whenever somebody sees something happening, they immediately think there's one explanation that explains it all. With a 50% drop in ratings, it's obviously multi-causal. There's obviously some numerous things going on. And I would suspect, young people not having cable and streaming it or illegally downloading it is one problem. But I suspect there's also a lot of young people who watched it growing up in their parents' house on cable, moved to college or moved out and never got cable and just don't care enough to go through the hoops to get it illegally. So I do think this viewership problem is a big deal, that basically the NBA is burying their head on the sand in. And I think part of the problem is just how effing hard it is to watch their games. It's just like, we know people,
and even outside of the blackouts, the app is such trash. Like I have the MLB app, like, and I watch baseball games on there. It's been great for like a decade now. Like, there's no reason to have your app at this point be so shitty. Half the time, like the MSG broadcast for the Knicks games, like the audio is out of sync for the first half, or it's like constantly like buffering and shit. Like it's so bad. Like, improve that shit. Improve it.
What we know is that people will actually pay for things if it's easy. If it's easy and simple, the people pay for it. Like, people were pirating movies like crazy until Netflix. Oh, you know what? $8.99 a month, and it's super easy, nice interface. Yeah, no problem. People were pirating music like crazy until Spotify. Oh, you know what? It's super easy. Like, I sign up, I get all the music I want. Like, if the NBA just made this easy, like, people would do it. I understand there's all these difficulties with their cable deals and the regional networks. That's why they don't. But it's like, this is a problem that's going to hit them like 10 years from now when like they don't have any fans. So.
But okay, a couple things. One, the blackout stuff is all old contracts with cable, and that's like I know people complain about it because I'm the same way. I can't watch Clippers games or Lakers games. It's insane. But that's like one of these things that was just been like, they signed 10-year contracts, 20-year contracts with local cable, and like, if you're a local channel, you're selling the Lakers game. You don't want to give that away.
I understand why it's there. I'm just saying
a lot of it's
No, I understand, but I mean, like the league needs to think about that when these contracts come up.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely like very, very important. But what's weird is I'm looking up now. Does BAM Tech? So BAM Tech was the company that did MLB. I thought they switched to the NBA too. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'm just beefing because it's like, it is really hard for me to watch games now. So I might even cancel League Pass because I'm like, look, if the thing is going to automatically mute. So.
Well, I'll say that I think for some reason this year's League Pass is worse than last year's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never had these audio issues like I'm having this year.
Apparently nobody's having them because I kept Googling and I couldn't find anybody else having them. And of course, on the NBA League Pass, there's no like help center or anything where I can like.
No, they're actually, well, not on the. I contacted their League Pass help on Twitter, and I went back and forth with some fucking person probably a million miles away from here, and they gave me all these like troubleshooting things like that I obviously already tried, like, oh, do you have like the current version, and like, have you tried like rebooting your device and all that shit. And then finally they told me like, oh, clear your cache, and I did all that shit, didn't do a goddamn thing. So so contacting their support does absolutely nothing. It just like gives the appearance that they're like helping you. So.
Okay, all right, I figured it out. BAM Tech, which was MLB, and then Disney bought. They do not do the NBA. That's what
no,
happened.
That's very obvious. It's very obvious. So, which it's like, I'm sorry, like you don't need that specific company to create your interface. Like,
well, I would say you do. Look, so BAM Tech does ESPN Plus, HBO Now, PlayStation View, Watch ESPN,
well,
and
to be fair,
WWE.
The ESPN app is trash too.
I don't like
the ESPN app.
It looks nice, but it also has so many issues.
But so Watch ESPN is currently the only thing that's working for me in terms of games. So
a lot of these apps are like really pretty bad. Like the NBC app is bad. The TNT app is spotty.
I'm always shocked by just how much better Netflix is, their interface, than everyone else. And I'm like, why are you guys just not copying Netflix? Like I'm watching, Black Sails on Hulu, and I'm like, why are they just not doing exactly what Netflix is doing?
Well, I think the reason is, remember, Netflix was a tech company.
No, I know.
It's a big tech company. And then, think about it. I will say, like you said, NBC just put out Peacock, their streaming service, this year.
Yeah, no,
it's still brand new. We're still at Web 0.1. We're still on.
Well, there's a total cultural difference. Like Netflix is a tech company. These are entertainment companies. And I actually had a friend who worked for Hulu who was like, yeah, it's like an old boys frat guy type of place where the cool guys get promoted, not the people who actually know what they're doing. It's like the guy who goes golfing with the CEO gets promoted, and Netflix is not like that at all. Netflix is purely run on competence. So
and I'm not talking about the large corporation I work at, but large corporations sometimes have older people in charge that don't understand technology.
Yes.
There are literally people that are in charge of a lot of the stuff you watch that just refuse to use email. They're still old school handshake contract people. And then what happens is you sign these things with cable channels and all these things, and you go, hey, did you guys remember the app? And they're like, oh yeah, whatever, we'll figure that out later. And you're like, what? No, don't figure that out later. That's what everyone's watching. And it's like, nah. Here's what you do. You watch MSG, you put on Johnny Carson afterwards, and that's how the world works, Right. So that's going to be the industry forever, for a long, long time.
It's a fair beef, and it's a beef that you see more and more big NBA Twitter people complaining about. So hopefully,
something's
done in the next couple
I would recommend that Strauss podcast because I had not really known about the ratings. You heard bubble stuff they're down in the bubble, but he was let's zoom out, and he had a guest on who was covering this too, and it was this is a serious problem that the NBA is just burying its head in the sand because essentially they don't have to worry about it because of the scarcity of live stuff, that their sports the only thing that people watch live, so it's their money is secure, they're gonna get it, but it's their viewership is in a free fall. So
I'll check it out because there is a lot of that people get wrong, viewership versus what really matters,
right?
And it is a supply and demand. I mean, that's it. Cable is dying, and the only thing people go to cable for is news and sports.
Yeah, no,
So you're gonna. That's why you're gonna rally around those things and probably keep things profitable for a long time.
Well, but everyone is saying viewership is down on all these other sports too, and it is. But there's an order of magnitude difference between the NBA and other sports. The NBA is really down, whereas these other sports are just down a little bit. So I think I personally think there's many causes. I do think a lot of it has to do with the young fan base just not having cable. I'm just not.
Yeah, that's gonna be it for a long time.
It's just not easy to watch. So
yeah. But hey, that's why I keep saying I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon just buys the NBA, YouTube buys all the rights
or the rights. Yeah.
Just to say look, we'll just outpay all these places and we'll just get our share, or at least for think about it. Okay, let's say ESPN still gets the Friday night games, but the Monday night games, Tuesday games, if it's on Amazon,
I think Amazon is they mention Amazon as like having been interested in the past, and I do think as these streaming wars heat up, it's like it seems like Amazon Prime has kind of like fallen to the back. Like I don't hear that much about shows on Amazon Prime right now. It's like Disney Plus, Netflix.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, Dave. But I could see them making a big splash to try to get their name back out there. So
yeah, well, they did that with football. They have a deal with NFL.
I mean, I like Amazon. I like the streaming service. I think their streaming service it works really well. But just there hasn't been a show on there that I've watched in a long time. So
I have two quick shout outs. One, listen to the latest Knicks Film School podcast. It just had their 300th episode. Even if you're not a Knicks fan, he just had Mike Breen on. It was fantastic, man. Mike Breen is just what a great dude and awesome guy. So, I would listen to that. And shouts to Jonathan Macri. He does such a good job.
Dude, Knicks Film School. Their live stream stuff is.
Oh, that's Knicks Fan TV.
But that's Knicks Fan TV. Oh, okay. Knicks Film School.
But
Got it.
The two complement each other very well.
Good.
His newsletter and his pod are fantastic, and for post game stream, Knicks Fan TV is the fucking best.
Yeah.
I hadn't checked our iTunes in a while, and I was like in our link tree together, and I went to our iTunes, and I noticed that there was a new review. It says my old fave, 2 stars. Had to stop listening because John and Matt legitimately sound like they hate each other. Makes for kind of a cringe listen when you can feel the tension, whatever. Dave, my boy, though.
Oh, damn.
Joe Lemon.
Don't
Joe
know.
Lemon. We have any idea who, or Joe Lemon?
But I will say, John and I do legitimately hate each other. So it's not. I mean, it's an accurate. I mean,
it's very accurate.
The tension is palpable. So.
Yeah, change that to 5 stars for your accuracy.
Yeah, change it. Like we always say this on the Sopranos pod, and we've guilted people into changing their reviews back. Say what you want about the pod, you trash the shit out of it, but give us 5 stars. Come on.
Yeah, like if you like Dave, give him 5 stars.
Yeah,
and don't worry about us.
Come on. I have to go to iTunes now.
He just likes me because I talk the least.
Yeah. It's probably because our fighting over Robin Hood. Did you guys see the congressional hearing going on?
I did.
No,
I have not seen the
news.
congressional hearing, but I saw that it was happening.
The congressional hearing lets you realize how bad our leadership is. And like watching a congressional hearing, you're like, wait, these people are in charge? It's like, oh,
I mean, anytime like they interview like people from big tech, it's always so embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing.
No clue. I mean, it's the same thing you were talking about.
Yeah,
like,
it's
about,
literally the same thing.
People being too old to understand,
Yeah.
Like the future of our media consumption. Like,
Yeah,
it's
wild.
so embarrassing.
Yeah. One quick shout out: the show on Hulu. It's the New York Times show, but the episode "Saving Britney." Have you guys seen that about Britney Spears?
I still haven't watched it. We keep bringing it up at, like in our house, and we're like, should we watch it? And then we watch our stuff because I know it's gonna be kind of sad.
Here's the thing: it's sad. I will say the reaction to it, I think, is a little like they were like, "Ooh, Justin Timberlake's canceled after this. How dare he?" And then I watched it. And I was like, "Wait, no, he did like what? Like we knew he made that music video. Like he didn't do anything. Right. A lot of the people they're going after, it's a little cringeworthy. But I wasn't like
the way she was interviewed and stuff.
Yeah, I mean there's some stuff but I'd also say they're like, oh, it's a tough bag. It's a tough bag because it's like she can't go to Starbucks by herself, and it's like, well, yeah, you're Britney Spears. Like, probably don't go to Starbucks by yourself. Right. When you're that level stardom and paparazzi's everywhere, like, just send someone to get Starbucks. You know what I mean? Like, don't go through the drive-through. Like, but it's interesting. It's really weird. And I think the craziest part about the whole thing is it's all about how the media won't leave her alone. And yet this is an hour-long doc where the media is not leaving her alone. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, like, are you guys pissed at yourself? Like, you're the one bringing all this stuff up. Like, you could have just left her alone. But I think it's really good. I think it's really, really good. And speaking of, like, looking back at, like, 90s, early 2000s, like, cancel stuff, like, yo, it was wild back then. Literally. They're like, you watch it and you're like, wow, that's just, like, what we did. That was just the world. You could just
like middle-aged men asking like a 19-year-old girl about her tits.
Yeah,
like shit like that.
It was just like, oh my gosh, this was
pretty awful.
Yeah, it's pretty awful, but pretty good. I really liked it.
I'll check it out. Check it out.
I have no interest. Anything else?
No, that's it. Well, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about, but we'll talk about next week.
Yeah, we're going. This is way longer.
Yeah.
All right.
A little too long.
Until next week, keep pooping.
Keep
pooping.